Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
Now at 6, police continue their search for the man accused of killing his baby girl, where the investigation stands tonight.
And calls for action after a noose is found in a local high school locker room.
We are tired of things like this being dismissed as child's play. This is not child's play. This is a serious, life-threatening episode.
The community demanding accountability as school officials respond.
Plus, combating burnout in the classroom.
If they're saying that they need help and they need support, we need to believe them, and we need to believe them now.
The startling statistics about a growing crisis in Connecticut schools.
And millions hitting the roads, air, and tracks this Thanksgiving.
The busiest travel days are actually today and tomorrow and the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
What you need to know to avoid a travel headache. The Fox 61 News at 6 starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the News at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. We want to begin with breaking news out of Wallingford, where a couple has been arrested accused of child abuse in a home daycare.
Fox 61 Sarah Sanchez joining us in the Breaking News Center with new information from police. Sarah?
Well, Ben and Jen, they involve some very disturbing charges. A woman who runs a home daycare in Wallingford and her boyfriend were both arrested in this case. The woman's accused of abusing as many as 9 children in that home daycare. 61-year-old Brenda Fornall and 66-year-old Grant Freer were both arrested today by Wallingford police. This stems back to a case in August when the two were reported to the Department of Children and Families. Police say 9 children were the victims of physical and verbal abuse at Fornall's home daycare on Ridgetop Road. She faces a slew of charges, including risk of injury, voyeurism, assault, sexual assault, and threatening. Her boyfriend faces conspiracy to commit risk of injury to a child. Now, both were released on bond and are due back in court next month. In the Breaking News Center, I'm Sarah Sanchez. Back to you.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Also breaking news, police are searching for a man considered armed and dangerous after a shooting in downtown Hartford today. The
shooting happening right at the section of Wadsworth and Buckingham Streets that sent 2 people to the hospital.
Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner joins us live from the scene right now. And DeAndrea, this was right across the street from the state attorney general's office, right? Tell us what you know.
Well, Ben and Jen, I am actually standing in a state employee parking lot right across the street from where this happened a little bit after the lunch rush today. This entire scene, this entire road was blocked off with crime scene tape and crime scene markers. We counted at least 29 crime scene markers today. And like I said, this happened in broad daylight. In Lieutenant Boisford with the Hartford Police Department, he said that 2 men in their 20s, they were just walking today when someone drove up and started shooting. Police responded to the scene just before 12:45 today because of a shot spotter activation. Lieutenant Boisford said that this wasn't a random shooting based on the amount of gunfire. And we spoke with the woman who comes to the street every single day to visit her brother. She tells us he was outside just 10 minutes before this shooting happened, getting a breath of fresh air. And here's what she had to say about this.
I ain't never had any problems when I come over here. Never had any problems. I mean, I've seen people fighting and arguing, but nothing like this. So I'm like, whoa, this is like something like you see on one of the TV shows. So it's a little concerning, you know.
And Lieutenant Boisford also tells us that one man, he is suffering non-life-threatening injuries, while the other man is listed in critical condition. As we learn more about his condition, we'll update you here on air and online at fox61.com. For now in Hartford, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61 News.
Keep us updated, DeAndrea. Thank you. Well, new tonight, calls for justice, rallies against hate. That was the scene outside of a Hebron high school Tuesday as students studied inside. The NAACP expressing outrage after a noose was found inside the boys' locker room on Friday. Fox 61's Samaya Hernandez was there. She joins us live outside of Ram High School with the very latest this evening. Samaya.
Good evening, Ben. Well, NAACP leaders say they came here to Hebron today because they want to make sure that incidents like this aren't just dismissed as child's play.
We want justice now! We want justice now!
Hebron and Connecticut State Police are investigating after a staff member found a noose inside a boys' locker room at Ram High School. The NAACP says that's not enough.
A noose is a weapon, just like a gun. If it was a gun, schools would be closed today.
The organization that has been advocating for civil rights for over a century is now calling on the feds to get involved. They also want to see more action taken under a new state law that created a centralized hate crimes unit within the state police.
We've always heard from the leadership is that they don't have the laws to back up to arrest anybody for this type of behavior. So we worked adamantly on the Democrat side and also on the Republican side to get the hate crime bill passed.
NAACP leadership met with Regional School District Number 8 Superintendent Colin McNamara following a rally outside the school on Tuesday.
This is very, very, very deep-rooted. The black community has to take this serious. We're not going to wait till somebody's hanging in one of those nooses.
District says it has been cooperating fully with local and state authorities who have been investigating since Friday.
Please know that anyone determined to be involved in this matter will be held accountable.
Retired educator Judy Wallen says parents need to do more at home to educate children on diversity and inclusion.
You have 5-year-olds on the internet. That's where they become a racist. But you got to get ahead of that and start as the parents of little bitty kids. Buy them picture books that have all kinds of people.
And local and state police tell us that their investigation is active and ongoing. We're live in Hebron tonight. Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61 News.
Samaya, thank you. Tonight, police are still searching for a Naugatuck man accused of killing his 11-month-old daughter. 31-year-old Christopher Francis Queenie is still on the run tonight. He was last seen in New Haven Friday after ditching the car that he was driving on I-91. Francis Queenie is considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911 immediately. And an East Lyme father was in court today facing charges for allegedly assaulting his 4-week-old twins. 19-year-old Torrin Ruhlman was taken into custody yesterday. Police say they were contacted by a medical office last month after the babies were brought in with multiple fractures to different parts of their bodies. Ruhlman's now being held on $200,000 bond. I want to move along here and get to the weather watch here. A sunny, beautiful day across the state. We woke up to a great sunrise. This was in New Hartford this morning, captured by Sky 61. Chilly out there, but pretty.
It is. Look at that. That's stunning. Now, I will say that it looked like it was going to be colder than it was. And, you know, at one point this afternoon, I was drinking coffee outside and the sun felt good. So we're improving.
That's good.
Absolutely. I mean, pretty much all of last week was colder than average. So it's nice to kind of flip the scripts. Even near average feels warm in comparison. And we're going to continue along this track right into Thanksgiving and even into this upcoming weekend. And most of the time will be dry, although there are a couple chances for rain in the forecast after we get through Thanksgiving. 43 degrees in Hartford, upper 40s for the New Haven area, and we are seeing some 30s starting to show up. 38 in Meriden and 37 the current temperature in Norwich. But you heard a lot of people choosing to hit the roads today, not tomorrow. And even if you're heading out this evening, the weather is doing just fine, and not just here locally, but all across the region, all across the Northeast, and even across the country. Things are looking really quiet if you're choosing to fly somewhere. 11 o'clock this evening, temperatures are in the mid-30s, and as we head towards daybreak, we'll start off with temperatures right around the 30-degree mark. Tomorrow, we're headed up to 50 as we head through the afternoon. Sunny, seasonable, light wind, no weather issues out on the roads other than maybe some traffic, and we're quiet heading into tomorrow night. We'll take a look at your Thanksgiving forecast and time out those rounds of rain after we get through Turkey Day coming up.
Okay, Rachel, thank you. Well, if you are traveling this Thanksgiving, before you carve the turkey, you're going to have to carve out plenty of time to get where you need to go. Travel has increased this year, and not just on the roads, but through the rails and in the air. Fox 61's Matt Karen talked to people who will not be home for the holidays.
Well, nationally, 55 million people will be traveling. More locally, 600,000 Connecticut residents. And whether you're riding the rails or soaring the skies, travel experts say preparedness is the key to know before you go. Check your arrival and departure times and to plan ahead for your parking. The rush is on.
It's just stressful.
From the runway to the rails.
A lot of our trains are either sold out already or close to sold out.
Which is why Amtrak has made the decision to put more trains on the tracks expecting well above the 28,000 riders that passed through New Haven's Union Station last holiday season.
The busiest travel days are actually today and tomorrow and the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
About 80% of pre-pandemic travel levels.
Everything is coming back normal, you know, than before the COVID. Yeah, I see more people traveling. The trains are actually full.
From full trains to full planes, Bradley Airport, a packed parking garage and busy concourse.
Getting back into travels, I started traveling because I'm going to college and traveling back and forth, college, home, but I've gotten a lot of experience traveling through the airports, and it's definitely a little bit more hectic. More people are starting to come, less masks, less all of that, but it's been going as smooth as it could be.
90,000 flyers expected here now through Sunday, and Bradley says they'll have the staff to handle it.
So we think we're adequately prepared here at the airport. We've been working very closely with our airline partners and other stakeholders to prepare for that busy holiday season. I think there's been a lot of opportunity since the summer for us to see what improvements can be made, and naturally the airlines have been also looking at adjusting schedules, hiring more people.
Travelers across Connecticut telling Fox 61 they'll tolerate the travel in anticipation of the turkey.
Spending time with family, of course, and the food.
We could get to see each other, hug and kiss, you know, and thankful for everything.
And Bradley Airport told us that although more people are traveling this year, they're about 50% off of their pre-pandemic travel peak. While here at Union Station, Amtrak says they're operating at about 80% of where they used to be at. High gas prices may be the biggest factor in all of that. We're reporting here from New Haven's Union Station. Matt Caron, Fox 61 News.
Matt, thank you. And in response to the anticipated busy travel week, the DOT is expanding service on the Hartford line this week. CT Rail and Amtrak Hartford line will operate on a Saturday schedule on Thanksgiving and a weekday schedule on Friday. 3 northbound and 3 southbound trains will be added tomorrow, Friday, and Sunday. Metro North Railroad will also operate special trains on the New Haven line on Thursday.
Well, new tonight, President Biden has extended the student loan pause as the White House fights a legal battle to save his plan that would cancel portions of the debt. The pause will now last until 60 days after the lawsuit is resolved. If it is not resolved by June 30th, payments will resume 60 days after that.